Good morning. Today is Monday, February 7th, 2011. This morning I'm talking about the Super Bowl hangover. Congratulations to Packers fans. Anybody who watched the Super Bowl last night? Packers beat the Steelers, bringing the Vince Lombardi trophy home to Green Bay. How about that? Just by coincidence, though, it also appears as though there's no U.S. data due out today. Now, I always wonder about things like that. When you see Super Bowl parties going on at the White House, who's actually going to be up around to report the data? Which isn't coming out today anyway. So whether it's coincidence or not, who knows? But when you have times like this without data to worry about, you can sometimes the market will take a break, look back at some of the other data we've seen, and I want to revisit the Friday's data that came out with the non-farm payrolls report. Very strange report. I called on Friday prior to market open. I called that there was going to be a disappointing number to come out, and I was right about that. What I was wrong about, however, was how disappointing that number was. Okay, we showed jobs gain. I think I don't even remember. It was pretty poor, around 54,000, I think. And the shocking thing, though, was that the headline number, the unemployment rate, actually came down to 9%. So it went from 9.4% to 9%. All right, and we didn't get anywhere near close to as many jobs created as we had expected. So very strange going on. It makes you wonder who actually was hung over there. Perhaps it was the BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And as I've said in previous blogs, you can't have the BLS without the B and without the S. So take that for what it's worth. So, we're looking today at the markets here. Not much news happening today. The only real significant news happening is in Eurozone. All right, this morning we had German industrial orders, factory orders, which came in worse than expected. They show a monthly decline of 3.4% versus an expectation of a decline of 1.5%. Now, just looking at a chart here, 30-minute of Euro USD, it looks like it may have topped out around 1.385 here for Euro versus USD. Now, what had been going on is we've gotten some recent hawkish comments from the ECB, but they had this summit in Brussels where they were supposed to come up with some sort of resolution to the euro debt crisis. Now, of course, nobody was expecting for a plan to be in place, but they're supposed to start agreeing on some things moving forward. That didn't happen, which is no surprise to anybody. But now everyone's saying, well, you know what? Maybe these hawkish comments coming from the ECB don't really hold much weight at all, and that it's going to be very unlikely that they're going to be able to raise rates despite the inflation that they're seeing. So that's what's happening in the eurozone. Euro's lower, and you can see here. We'll just look back on the 5-minute chart. You can see that once that German report came out, that the euro continued to slide lower. I just wanted to show you Aussie versus Kiwi real quick. Okay, we've got the Kiwi strengthening here versus the Aussie. Now, overnight retail sales figures in Australia came in a little bit lower than expected. They showed a gain of 0.2% versus an expected 0.5% gain. Now, Thursday they're going to be coming out with the Australian employment report, and that's going to be the big news from down under this week. Take a quick look at the pound here. Pound is stronger. Let's look at pound versus euro. All right, you can see euro weakening here versus the pound. Basically, euro's loss is the pound's gain. You've got European money flows moving out of the eurozone into the UK. Now, on Thursday, we're going to get the B of E rate decision here in the UK, and that's going to be interesting because there have been a lot of signs of inflation recently. The minutes from the last meeting showed that one of the policymakers on the B of E flipped, so there could be some change to either language and/or policy. Now, no one's really expecting them to move on rates as of yet, but they have an asset purchase plan that's been in place for a while. That could potentially change. So we're going to have to see what happens here in the UK. But right for now, pound is trading a little bit higher. You can see it was selling off against the USD a little bit earlier, but now it's ticking back up. Let's see what else is happening out here. We've got yen weakness across the board. Showed you this, I don't know, last week sometime. Let's take a look here. It looks like put in a bottom there, roughly just ahead of 81.20 or just above 81. So looks like yen may be weakening. They still have some major debt problems over in Japan. That was no surprise. S&P downgraded their credit 2 weeks ago, which I said was kind of silly, being that everyone's sort of known about it for a while. But we're going to have to see what happens in Japan and how they're able to manage investor confidence. So when we get a day that's really light on news now, it's early this morning and there's nothing due on tap for the U.S. later today. We're going to get a lot of Fed speak this week. So some of these Fed members are going to come out and start talking about the economy, giving us the reasons why QE2 is necessary, what have you. Really much ado about nothing. But when you get days that are light on news, sometimes what you get is you get what's called reversion to mean trades. And what that means is that the correlations sort of come back into play. So what you need to do is figure out what's driving the market and then look for any anomalies out there that don't seem to make sense, and perhaps there's going to be a trade in there. So far this morning it looks like Euro's driving the train. All right, we've got Euro weakness. All right, but you can also see that Aussie's sort of hanging in there versus dollar. So maybe there's a time when we could see what I'm going to call a reversion to mean trade, where maybe the Aussie falls back in line with dollar. Now you can see Aussie strengthening here versus dollar. So let's take a look at Euro. Perhaps that's happening as well. It's not right yet. So Euro and Aussie aren't necessarily correlated, but when you compare them both against dollar, you can see how the Aussie, that it's really the Euro that's driving the action there. So just keep an eye on those. Sometimes there are trades in there, sometimes not, but you never know what's going to happen. And if you're not sure how to play these correlations, by all means check out our currency trading courses. There's a lot of explanations in there and a lot of things that can help you out. So that's what I've got for today, folks. Good trading to all.